Oh, no? Okay. Well, I guess it's as good a time as any to talk. Okay. Change has never been my best friend. New things can terrify me. I'm not what you would call social either. I avoid attention. I tried escaping the first party I ever went to by climbing out a window, which massively backfired in the end when everyone came outside to look at the guy who'd fallen out the window and broken his leg. So it's not been easy facing this new world we've got. I mean, the change was just so sudden, like whiplash. One way and then another like that. And I'm such a loner, you think I'd be happy to be so cut off from everyone? Away from all those awkward social situations. And I thought I would be too. But it's cold and lonely.
Well, I stopped painting around 2 weeks ago. Stopped reading about 3 weeks ago, and I stopped writing about the same time. In that big gap where I wasn't doing anything, the last thing I made was a sketch of 3 birds trapped in a cage. So that should give you some idea of where I was mentally. Normally, I use my art to make sense of things, to understand them. I use it to communicate. But being alone is an illness itself. The longer it goes on, the less enthusiasm I have to make things and to attempt to understand and discuss the state of the world. And the less I do that, the more frustrating the world becomes. And the less I express, the less I feel, and the less of a person I am. As an artist, I don't live in my art, but I do live through it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I'm fine, I guess. I tend to look for control a lot. It's not a bad thing, but it is a thing. And when I don't get that control, I feel this sort of pain. In the last few months, life changed so quickly, my control changed too. It nearly vanished. I spend time indoors, I mean, everyone does. And I can deal with the loneliness, I really can. It's not the first time I've been on my own for such a long amount of time. But it is the first time I've had no choice. It hurt to admit that. At first, it hurt because of the lack of control. But then it hurt because of what the isolation really meant, what it represented on a bigger scale. That things were serious and dangerous and scary. It hurt that the numbers were growing every day, that they were growing and we were losing people.
Thoughts? Oh, depending on the day. I can be calm, reflective, thankful, taking the time I've got to exercise and be productive. Or a chaotic ball of existential dread living off takeaways and TVs, fearing what the rest of this evil year has in store for us, praying for the unrealistic prospect that my college exams will accommodate properly for this global pandemic and this horrific year in general that has undone about 3 years of quality therapy. Honestly, I don't even think Satan would sign off on this year. I feel like it'd be off-brand, too dark. It has been fun watching my home, my temple, devolve into a classroom where my teacher's voice can be heard constantly, and the schools make no adjustment to the workload despite the collective crumbling mental state of every student in the country and any motivation they had left.
Well, I'm lucky. I am. You know, as someone who actually got sick. I made mistakes where others didn't, and I didn't suffer where other people did. But I understand, at least I hope I do. At first, I just switched off, ignored it all, turned away from the news. But you can only turn away for so long until you start to feel the weight. Losing people, even people you don't know, it's like losing parts of yourself, isn't it? Or some idea you had of peace and routine. It's the familiarity and comfort just fading away. And there's just this sadness and fear left, and guilt, for me at least, for not doing everything I was supposed to, for putting other people in danger. That's how it seems sometimes, anyway. I stay at home, watching TV, or eating, or reading, and there's people falling away. And I can really feel it, you know? I think everyone can feel that loss. It's like a giant grief that we're all sharing. All these people that you'll never even meet. Sharing grief.
Isolating with my dad and brother has been interesting. Is there anybody who can bring me to the brink of madness? It's my family. I noticed my brother's coughing a couple of weeks into lockdown. Probably didn't act quick enough, but when we did, it was hard seeing him so weak in hospital and then so weak at home when he got back. I found myself putting off work and reading up on the virus just so it could be a help to him. I guess I just wanted it to be over for him. For everyone, I suppose.
I used to look at the birds through my window and try and capture them in something. You know, paintings, photos, anything, really. There's something so peaceful about being able to hold something's essence without even having to touch it. But the birds made up just a bit of my day. And the birds are so small. Processing something as large as the worldwide spread of a disease is a bigger, more overwhelming task that takes energy and commitment. But it's not impossible.
So once the control's gone, you start thinking differently. You take a step back and you're given another perspective. For me, it's the people I see differently. Friends, family. All those cancelled plans. Putting off seeing people and going places with them. Yeah, I did all that. But now that it's not my choice, now that the control's gone, it woke me up. We've been so disconnected on such a huge and unavoidable scale. I can't stop thinking about how important these people are, how empty life is without them. I've promised myself I'm going to be with them once this is all over. Not through a screen, but face to face. Strange, everything's so dark right now, but I can see so clearly. Once things are taken from you, you really come to appreciate their value.
It does seem like everyone's gone insane. Not that they don't have a good reason to be, or some of them weren't like that to begin with, but it is bizarre watching it to this sort of scale. Still, when people break down, you start to see the chance of rebuilding. And when you start to get the chance to rebuild, you're really getting the chance to become better, right? I'm holding on to the hope that we come out of this better, because even though the chaos of this situation has turned me into a bit of a pessimist, I'd be lying if I said we hadn't already seen people becoming better. There's been kindness Communities have pulled together where they may have been apart. People have marched for things to become better, for actual change to come about for everyone. Out of the tragedy, I never expected the contemplation or the call for social change, or how good people are actually capable of being.
Things will get better. Of course they will, at some point. We're stuck with this for now. Sharing grief. It's sad, of course it is. But it's also a source of happiness, in a way, for me. Sorry, I know that sounds strange, but just knowing that we're all sharing this grief, just knowing that we all have the same sadness, that we're all being weighed down by this. Me, my family, my friends, you. Knowing that we're all being weighed down by this, that's what grounds me. That I'm not alone. That no one is, as long as we can all still feel this pain together. As long as we can all just still feel. We're not alone.
Yeah, because that's a real connection. And it's hope. You can't get rid of hope.
Hope grows in anything. Right now, just from my window, I can hear the birds singing. The blossoms are growing. The world is full of life.
And it's obvious. You can't always have control or get away from that pain, but you can go towards good things.
There's still so much hope and love in the fear. It's inside everyone that has to carry the weight.
It's the hope and love that makes the weight lighter and easier to bear.
Hey, thanks. I needed this.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, feels nice to talk.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been so good to talk to you all.
I only came to see Alice's green hair. But I have to admit, it is better than talking to my cat all day. Don't tell her I said that, though.
Are you giving us blackmail for free, Jasmine?
Oh, we've got to do this again.
Yeah, of course. Oh, by the way, Alice, how's your book coming along?
Oh, fine. Fully back in the artistic swing of things. Mostly thanks to you guys.
Well, I don't want to take all the credit, but
Same time again tomorrow.
Sounds good. See you all tomorrow.
right, bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.